Hey, Cove Kids, it's Mr. Banana, and I just got off of a Zoom call with my friend Steve. He is a missionary in Moldova, Europe. Where is Moldova? Moldova is a country that is next to the country of Ukraine. Have you heard about Ukraine and the wars that are happening over there? Well, there are a lot of people fleeing from that country and looking for a place of safety. And so, what my friend is doing there as a missionary is that he is helping them to provide clothes, food, shelter, and their basic needs. He is being the hands and feet of Jesus. And when you are the hands and feet of Jesus, then it opens up people's ears as you become the mouth of Jesus, as you tell people about Jesus. And that's what Stephen is doing there. So let's watch this Zoom video and let's see what's happening over there.
What am I doing right here right now? I'm a pastor in this part of the world. I've been out here a long time, helping to start churches. I lived in Ukraine for 5 years and got to help to start 2 churches there. And I've been in Moldova now for 16 years,
Wow.
which is a long time. I've known Pastor Lidio for a long time. We
For
used to
over 20
skateboard a little bit
years.
together, huh?
For over 20 years.
Yeah, for over 20 years. And so
Wow.
your pastor Lidio is a super good friend of mine. And yeah, happy to see him now. But so yeah, we moved to Moldova 16 years ago. We lived in the north for 6 years in a small town, and I was a pastor of a church there. And then we've been in the capital for the last 11 years and started a church here, and that's where we're serving. The church has its own pastors now, and I'm just a helper. So we still serve in leadership. I still preach sometimes, but it's not necessary for me to do it all the times because we have some rad guys who can probably do it better than me anyway.
Yeah.
And I have a business here. So we clean. Yeah, with my business, I started a business to employ people because Moldova is like the poorest country in Europe. And so, the average person here makes about $300 a month, which is not very much money. And it makes it hard to live. And so I started a business so that I could employ people and give them good work and good pay.
Yes.
And so that's something that I do. And now I'm doing a lot of other things I never thought I would be doing. You guys have all heard about the war that's going on in Ukraine, and it is. I know that it's hard for. It's probably not very real to you guys, because it's just so far away, and that's just kind of the way things are. But I'm living in a place where I'm seeing literally thousands of mothers and their kids coming across the border who had to leave their husbands and their sons to go fight, and some of them will die. I know many of them personally. I have friends that are living in the north of Ukraine where we were missionaries for many years, and they are literally hiding in their basements because their entire city has been destroyed. Like, you would not even recognize it. And so the Lord is bringing people here to Moldova by the tens of thousands. We have had in the last 10 days, we've had more than 200,000 people come into the country. And we've been able to help many of them. There are so many people that need help. And what the coolest thing is that I have never seen so many people ready to help. I honestly, I have never imagined in my whole life that I would ever see so many churches working together.
Wow.
With one purpose.
Wow.
I have never seen anything. I have never seen anything like it, and it is beautiful.
Yes.
God's people are sacrificing their time and their energy and the talents that they have to serve people they don't even know. Everybody is opening up their homes. I I don't know how many families I've already had in my home this week. You know, we have one family right now that's staying with us. Can you imagine this? Imagine this connection. This is amazing. I went to a small town in Ukraine 20 years ago with other people. And one of the young ladies there, her name is Oksana. She became a Christian when she was probably 18 or 19 years old. She was a student. She became a Christian in our church. You know, she grew as a Christian and a disciple in the churches that we started. And I've known her all throughout the years. I watched her. She married an American man. They're living in Florida now. You know, they have a beautiful family and they still love Jesus. And she called me 2 days ago and she said, Stephen, my cousin and her daughter need to get out of Ukraine. Can you help them? And so I have family members from people who got saved in the churches that we planted in my house right now.
Wow. Hey, you posted a video of a miracle, one of God's miracles, you know. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, this was so cool. So, you know, so when refugees started coming, we needed to house them and nobody knew what to do. And so I made a form and I put it on Facebook or wherever I could. And it just said, hey, if you can house and help some Ukrainians, let me know. And so I got this list of people and people are calling me, hey, do you know where, you know, I need a place for like, you know, 3 people, you know, 3 adults and 5 kids. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm looking in the list, you know, and one of the people on the list, I called her and her number registered on my phone. She's one of my clients.
Oh, okay.
I've actually been to her house and cleaned her furniture. Okay. And she's a wealthy businesswoman. Her and her husband have an IT company and they have a really big house right in the center of the city and half of their house is an office. And can you imagine, this woman has turned her house into like a hostel. She has 40 refugees staying at her house.
Wow.
Like just at her house. It's crazy. And so this lady's cuckoo for Jesus. And like so cool. And she's just helping a lot of people. But and so anyway, she decided she wanted to help more. And like I said, they have money and they want, you know what, like God, if God ever gives you money, he doesn't give it for you.
Come on.
He gives it so you can help people who need help.
Yes.
And that's exactly what this woman is doing with the money that God blessed her with. And she's going out and just on her own, she's looking for huge buildings, right? She's looking for huge buildings and she's ready to pay, you know, 4,000, 5,000 euros a month. And she calls this guy, she finds this place, really nice place. She calls him and she's like, hey, yeah, you know, we want to rent this place. And he asked her, what are you using it? What are you going to use it for? And she said, well, I want to open another center to house refugees. And this guy, he's also a wealthy businessman. Obviously, he has a big place. He tells her, he says, you know what? Like, if that's what you're going to use it for, then I'll give it to you for free.
Wow.
He said, I'll give it to you for free as long as you can do it. And so she calls me like that night and she was like, she's like, I think God is doing something, but I don't know what to do with it. Like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm like, that's crazy. Like, I don't know what to do with that. Like, that's above my pay grade. And you know, like I don't have that many people because our church, literally that same day, we opened up our church to receive refugees. So our church building is filled with refugees right now. Yeah. And so we're busy. Like we don't have more energy. And so I just told her, I was like, All right. Well, I mean, it sounds like something the Lord doing, because that's crazy. But we can't do it by ourselves. So the conclusion we came to that night was like, okay, well, if the Lord wants it to happen, then it's going to happen. And if it's not, then it's not. And so the next day, so one of the other things that I'm doing is there's a lot of Christian organizations that are doing things, a lot of churches that are doing things, but everybody up until now has been doing their own thing.
Yes.
You know, and they're doing great things, but we're not communicating and we're not working together very well.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that the Lord has shown me that I need to do and that I can do is bring all that together and organize it and make it so that we are able to take all the things that God has given us and use them together in a much more powerful way.
Yes.
And so I was the next night I was having a meeting with a bunch of church leaders and organization leaders, and we were talking exactly about that. And at the end of the meeting, I just took the opportunity to say, hey guys, before we go, I got this crazy opportunity. Like, what do you think? And because I can't take it. And I just kind of tossed it out there. And the guys from Campus Crusade for Christ, they were just like, shut up. Like we've been praying for that. We've been looking for that. They're like, we've been looking for that. And so long story short, I meet with them the next day. We go to look at this space, meet that lady, meet the owner, and the next afternoon they got the keys. Wow. And check this one out. And the next afternoon, and so this was Saturday afternoon. Sunday morning, we have 150 mattresses. Wow. And they're just banging it out. Like they're just banging it out, dude. Like they're going to have this place up and running probably in a couple days. Yeah. And we'll be serving 150 more, more people. But let me tell you though, like that's wonderful. Yep. But 150 is a drop in the bucket. Like it's nothing compared to the needs. Yep. Like we need like that place, like to meet the needs, we need like 1,000 of those. Wow. Across the country. Like, I mean, seriously. And so we have huge needs. Moldova is the poorest country in Europe. We don't have the resources to do all those things. And yet we need to do it. Yeah. It needs to get done. And so, one thing I would ask you guys that you would pray that God would do more of those miracles. Pray that God would help the churches and different organizations that we know of to, open up the Christian camps that we have, to put hundreds of people, to get all the people from the surrounding towns and villages to help out there. Check this one out, guys. So, so we have we need to get more, housing and transport and all these things. But what we needed probably maybe even the most is we need somewhere to send these people, because Moldova can't take care of them. We need to send them somewhere in Western Europe and somewhere that's going to actually take care of these people, because they have a lot of needs. Yes. Like if you can imagine leaving your home, everything that you know. Imagine your family has a business. Now it doesn't have a business. Imagine your family being torn apart and you have no idea what you're going to do. Where are you going to work? Where are you going to live? Where are you going to get money? Where are you going to go to school? Like all of those questions have to be answered. And there's already more than 1 million, soon there will be millions. And all of these people need help, and Moldova can't provide it. We can help them right now temporarily, but we need to push them on. And so I'm praying and I'm going, God, you got to do that. Yeah. Like you got to do this. I don't know where to send people. I can see how to help them, but I don't know where to send people. Lord, you got to You got to do something. And this morning I woke up and I'm like, you know what? You just need to ask. You just need to throw it out there and ask and say, and just tell people like, this is what I need, guys, like make it happen. And I'm telling you, within half an hour, I did that this morning. Within half an hour, I got a message from a friend that I've known for about 15 years. He's Danish. He's from Denmark in northern Europe. He's just a normal guy, but he loves Jesus and he knows a lot of people in different churches there. And he writes me and he goes, Stephen, send your people to Denmark. He said, Denmark is ready right now to receive 20,000.
Wow.
And to give them long-term help, to give them work, to help them get in, to help them become, to live there and for the kids to go to school. And he said, and we, like, I actually, right before this, 5 minutes before this, I got off the phone with him and he's already organizing, he's trying to find buses to send here so that we can just have a line. Like we're just going to have a route, like buses are going to come. We're going to fill them up with people. They're going to take them to Denmark and they're going to love them for Jesus.
Wow.
Like, and crazy.
Crazy.
Crazy cool.
Yes.
And yeah, and later that morning, I wrote some other friends, because I had met and I had met some guys from Norway. And so one of my friends that I know in Romania, he's hooking me up with a guy. He's hooking me up with like the guy in Norway. The guy who knows everybody.
The head honcho.
And can make things happen.
Yeah.
He's the honcho, dude. And he's the head one. And so it's very likely in the next week or so, we're going to have a pipeline.
Yeah.
We're going to have regular, large buses coming, picking people up, taking them to Denmark, probably taking them to Norway, and another same day, like 3, Denmark, Norway, and I was just messaging with people from Germany who are doing the same. And it like crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, just absolutely. Like, I mean, like, I literally yeah, I mean, I literally wept.
Yeah, man.
Like, I just wept.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, so good.
Oh my gosh. That's so good, man.
Like that, like I didn't I didn't do that,
Wow. I got really emotional there. I just love what God is doing in our world as he's revealing his love to people. This month, we are collecting money to give to people like Steve, to help people who are refugees from Ukraine. And so all of the offering money that we're collecting on the weekends is going to go to those efforts. But even more than that, let's continue to pray for what God is doing there and pray that people will receive not just the care of Jesus, but the message that Jesus has to give them. That we would see people come to know Jesus as personal Lord and Savior, as people like Steve help people over there. And maybe one day, God will call you to become like a missionary, maybe in a different country. And so pray about it, because that is how God is reaching this world, through people, and people just like you. Love you guys.